Good afternoon. My name is Leah. Welcome to another episode of My Life Without Limits. Once again, we are without Carlos, but he will be returning soon. I am hearing, so we're looking forward to that. But I still have our good friend Emily here with us. Hello, Emily. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. I'm so happy to be back.
Yes, I know it's been a minute since we've done a podcast, but that is summer for you. Summer is like that. It's quiet everywhere. You know, we've got holidays coming up. I'm going to take a week and a half off. I wish I was going somewhere, but I'm just decluttering the house and then donating everything to Value Village because it benefits Cerebral Palsy Alberta.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there. But yeah, no, it's good to have you back for another episode. And we have a new friend to meet that I'm excited about. This is a new friend and a new organization to learn about, and we're all going to learn together. So welcome Arshdeep from Resilient Hearts. You reached out over our website, which is what we always encourage people to do. And here you are. We're meeting each other finally. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Leah and Emily. I'm so happy to be here. And I'm excited to share what we do at Resilient Hearts. So my name is Arshdeep Sandhu, and I'm founder and CEO of Resilient Hearts. At Resilient Hearts, we empower young adults with development disabilities by equipping them with the essential skills for independent living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have a day program.
Yes, we
right? That I had read. That's so important. Having these programs that can fill their days is a big deal.
Yeah. So we provide community access services. So we would provide a day program, which is a life skills day program, and we also provide community respite.
Ah, see, another thing.
Yeah.
We've always got people that are looking for respite and asking about all of that and everything. So it's good to know that we can add you to our list of resources to get. So what got you into this? Give us a little background about you and you know how you got into this and what your education background is.
Sure. I immigrated to Canada about 7 years ago as an international student. And after finishing my school with psychology, I have associate degree in psychology. So after finishing my psychology, I started working with youth in Lower Mainland, Abbotsford, BC. Um, and that's where my career started. And I moved to Calgary in April 2022. So I worked with individuals with development challenges while working as child and youth care counselor with health services. Then I also took a role with a disability organization. Um, so at that point, I always wanted to. I'm an entrepreneur, so always wanted to open my own business. And when I was working at a disability organization, I found there is a huge gap. I was supervising a program with complex needs. So there was no individualized care. So individuals were sitting in the group home looking at the walls, and like staff are also tired, burned out. So there was not any individualized care. And later on, I explored that once the individual turn 18, they don't have enough supports, like their school sports get canceled. And another thing that really boosted Resilient Hearts Rise was the campaign through a Down syndrome actor, Madison Tavlin, when that campaign came out that in ending those misconceptions and stereotypes, that's the one thing that really uh, connected with me, and like I wanted to make difference with individuals' lives. So that's the one thing that like boosted us, and we ended up incorporating our organization and starting our services. Yeah.
That's
Very
awesome.
cool.
Was that the video about the margarita?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Love
really
that.
inspiring. Yeah.
Yes, I remember seeing it and then I shared it, and yeah, a ton of people were watching it, and it was like I think that was like it seems so simple to say,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I mean the impact it made was
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Huge.
sure.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. And it's funny that I didn't realize her name either. I should have done more research into it, but yeah.
Yeah, she's
Mm.
great, and she always say, I have a Down syndrome, which is least interesting thing about me.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
I
So
have
true.
also said the same thing.
Yeah.
I have also said the same thing. Like
yeah.
my CP is absolutely the least interesting thing about me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We learned that when Carlos, who has cerebral palsy, would do presentations at schools with kids, especially
Mm-hmm.
the younger ones. He would go in and talk about his disability. And then when he opened it up for questions, none of them had to do with his disability. Like the kids were like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Anyways, what's your
Mhm.
favorite kind of cake? And how do you
Yeah.
make money? And what's your favorite superhero? Like they don't care.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not interesting for them.
It's
Mm-hmm.
so true. It's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
They just need that one explanation about it, and then they're like, all right, let's move on to the more
Yeah.
interesting things. Oh,
Yeah.
I love
For
that.
sure.
Actually, wow,
Yeah.
that's very cool. So that's how you got started. So like, where are you at like, so you moved to Calgary, so welcome to Alberta.
Thank you.
I know it's probably been, hopefully you didn't get too much damage from the storm last night. I heard in Calgary it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
A lot of hail. A lot of our employer or other staff members are talking about damage to their cars and stuff
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah, we got affected, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, we are not
Yep.
alone in this.
Yep. But Calgary's a great place to start an organization like
Mm-hmm.
yours because there is a
Mhm.
big need for it. And it's
Yeah.
just like it's where our head office is. And yeah, it's just a hub of incredible organizations.
Totally.
And so that's
Is your organization like a startup, a nonprofit, charity?
It is a startup, started social enterprise. We are thinking if we should move to a nonprofit, because the barriers we are facing are like the funding.
Mhm.
It's a major barrier. Secondly, like that payment process. We are on resource list for government of Alberta, but we are not a PDD approved agency because we are a startup, of course. So it will take some time. Yeah. So we are
Cool.
working with one participant at the moment where we provide community respite. We go with them in the community, do the things that they like, recreational activities, sports, and like little teaching movements, how to spend money, those kinds of things, and it's going well.
That's very
That's
cool.
great. And especially
Yeah.
having that like real experience because, we have a computer program and we will go over things like how to manage your bank account online, but it's all online things, how to purchase things online. But for them to get out, and go out and experience that firsthand and just, I don't know. I mean, we've seen a decline in a lot of our in-person things, especially here in Edmonton after the pandemic. And I think even caregivers are exhausted and
Yeah.
thinking of having to go out to a program and think about how to get there and all that. It's hard, but it's like, look, come on out. You have to get out. Again,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you guys taking them out, that's so important.
Yeah. And yeah, it boosts their mood, like see how people engage in the community, also give them
Yeah.
sense of belonging or sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Because even for myself, when I like work from home, like I feel depressed if I don't go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so many of those community programs are really dehumanizing to folks with developmental disabilities. They'll volunteer at a festival and pick up trash or clean up the bathrooms, and it just like breaks my heart because there's so much potential there. And
Yeah.
so to really humanize these individuals and show them, what opportunities are out there for them, and like you mentioned, how to spend their money, how to manage their finances, how to have fun, how to build community. It's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And they have the community see them out there. So
Yeah.
other people without disabilities can see like, oh, they're
Yeah.
out and about and, they're just doing the same things we want to do. And that's all they want to do,
Yeah. And yeah, that's what inclusive is.
Yep.
Like accepting the way they are.
Yeah.
and be part of the community.
Yeah. And it would give a lot of relief to parents as well, I'm
Mhm.
sure. So what's your experience? Like, what have you heard from like the individual that you're working with now, from their support, you know, and their friends and family? What are they saying it's like, how it is helping them?
So they really found it helpful. They're having fun. They were saying like they haven't tried those things in a while. So
Mhm.
they're reliving those moments that they enjoyed in their school. Yeah.
Right. Yes,
Well,
exactly. And it's good for
Hmm.
their mental health, the parents, you know,
Yeah.
especially again after the pandemic, it was hard for a lot of parents because there was nowhere
Yeah.
for them to go, and they need that. The caregivers,
Hmm.
you know, go through quite a bit. And you're right with, you know, sometimes they are in group homes or whatever, and they're just staring at the wall or watching TV. And, you know, we
Yeah.
see that
yeah.
all the time, you know, them
Yeah.
coming in, they need that
Yeah.
experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the transition between youthhood and adulthood is so jarring for people with disabilities. Like
Hmm.
I remember turning 18 and I was like, okay, like where are my doctors? Where's my support? You know, and everyone was like, no, you need a new doctor, you need a new CP specialist, you need a new
Yeah.
physiotherapist. Like I was going to the Glenrose and all of a sudden all these resources that were being paid by Alberta Health Services were not being paid for anymore. And
Hmm.
then everything was out of pocket. And then
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course you have benefits, but your benefits run out. So there's these people that are growing up and all of a sudden there's a massive gap. So it's cool
Hmm.
Yeah.
that you're kind of seeking to fill that gap.
Yeah. Yeah. It's insane that we like most of the time individuals are not aware about the resources, which is a huge piece. Like there is, of course, there is a huge gap, and like there is some organization that trying to help families, but those organizations are not promoted.
Mhm.
So I know Plan Calgary, we have a working relationship with them. Then Parent Survival, like those organizations are doing really great work, and I think those organizations need to be recognized
Mm-hmm.
um, and able and available as well. Like they're doing so much great work. Um, yeah.
Yeah, organizations really need to come together,
Mm-hmm.
because I know I always say, like, you know, when I reach out to people, like, oh, come to us, you know, you know, if we
Mm-hmm.
can't help you, we will find someone who can.
Yeah,
And it's like we need to be sharing resources,
Mm-hmm.
and we really do need to come together, because that's, you know, we can share on social media and newsletters and
Mm-hmm.
do so much, but if you don't have the marketing dollars,
yeah,
you really do have to go out and make those connections,
Yeah.
which is
yeah,
why I'm glad, you know, Cynthia from Able and Available, who was on our podcast and who we have a partnership with, brought you to us, and then now we can help get the word out about, you know, what you're
totally,
doing, and that's the way it
Yeah.
should be, you
Thank
know.
totally.
you.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think it's a really interesting approach to be a startup in this space and bridging the gap kind of between,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like the startup world, the business world, and kind of community development and the nonprofit world. I think there's a huge need for it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And I understand that funding is a very difficult part of
Yeah.
all of this, but I do think the funding will come and
Mm-hmm.
I see it. I absolutely see a need for a social enterprise in this space because so many of us are charities and nonprofits.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you, Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So our services are 16 plus, so we are not 18 plus. So
Mhm.
that's to bridge that gap of transition to adulthood. Um, we serve individuals who are 16 plus for our day program. And our day program has 10 components that help us plan our care. So that include communication and social skills, recreational and physical activities, self-care and self-advocacy, entertainment, arts and crafts. Um, sorry, I'm blanking out.
No, that's okay.
Personalized and therapeutic case management.
It's a lot of services, and it'd be hard to remember. I can never
Yeah,
remember all of ours. I always have to really think about
yeah,
it. There's a lot.
volunteering and employment assistance, peer mentorship, and
Mhm.
participant achievement and event celebrations. So each has like different component that plan our make our program holistic, because we also focus on recreation, also giving them that self awareness or self advocacy education, which really empowers them to be self-reliant or self-sufficient. That's what our purpose is, to foster independence, to make them self-sufficient. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And
Very
celebration,
cool.
you said too.
Yeah, celebrating like their little achievement. Every 8 weeks,
Yes.
we host a graduation where individuals reflect on their achievement from past 8 weeks, like what they have achieved in last 8 weeks, even if it's a minor, but that celebration boosts their confidence and empower them
Yeah,
to do more.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think that component is missing in a lot of programming. It's just like
Yes.
programming. It kind of
yeah.
overlaps on itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people need to be recognized for, like, everyone, all of us need to be
Mhm.
Yeah,
recognized for the good things that we're doing and the positive steps that we're taking towards kind of living a more fulfilling life. So that's
yeah,
really cool.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
yeah.
like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also provide hands-on life skills, cooking, cleaning, organizing, budgeting, grocery shopping, transit training, all those things. Because there is a lot of organizations. I'm not going to name them, but they say they do those things, but it's more of recreational. They're not provided with the education that they need to be independent.
Yes.
um like, of course they are like more recreational based and there is need for it. I'm not saying there is not a need, but
Mhm.
I didn't find a program that has mixture of both components, recreation and that education,
Right.
to
Totally.
helping them to rediscover themselves and transform their lives to
Yeah.
a new perspective.
Yeah. Then that'll help with when you do get to the point where you can go after grants and
Mm-hmm,
funding. I mean, you're hitting all of the marks. I think a lot of the foundations are looking for.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, because where all those gaps are. And I mean, I could benefit from some of those programs myself. If I didn't have my husband looking after finances and budgeting, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
where I
Yeah,
would be. Like I'm just not good with it. Part of having ADHD and just not being good with numbers and all that. So I mean, definitely would be something I could see
yeah,
myself, benefiting from. Yeah.
yeah.
Is there an application process or how do people get involved?
So there is no formal application. Initially, we had application process
Mhm.
where we had application form on website and people filled that application form. But now we changed our process. So what they now do, they book a meet and greet with us, where we get to know the participant and participant get to know us, and we determine if it's a good fit, like what their needs are and what kind of service they're looking for. So it's a life skills day program. It's not a program that we like take people and like put them into the program. We
Yeah.
determine if it's a fit for both parties, then we move forward. Then afterward, we get them to complete the application form, and do the intake interview. And based on the need assessment, um, we enroll them into the program. Yeah.
Well, how many individuals do you have in the program right now?
I have only one. We don't have any wait list. So initially, our plan was we are running as a home-based business, which is a barrier because we are in far northwest Evanston community. So the commute is not the best.
Right.
Secondly, families does not feel comfortable sending their loved one to a home facility. So
Right.
that's another barrier. So we were hoping to move to a commercial space in September, but because of the signing of lease and stuff, and
Yeah.
like the improvements, like commercial property improvements, we are now in middle of signing our lease, and we will be moving to commercial space as of November 1st.
Oh, that's
Nice. That's
awesome.
exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That
we are
is a
so
big
excited
deal.
about it too.
Yeah, you're right. People can be hesitant. I know even looking for
Mm-hmm.
childcare at one point, it was like daycare, day home, and you're kind of like for both of them. Like there's sort
Yeah.
of like ups and downs for both. But yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
see how that could be a
Mm-hmm.
barrier. But like
Yeah.
you're breaking through that, and Well, that's really great. So is it your family that's involved with you, or do you just have other employees that you've hired?
I'm the only one who is doing everything
You're it.
for my organization, from business planning, funding, social media.
Yeah.
I do have one volunteer who is handling our LinkedIn page.
Oh,
So his
nice.
name is Sandy. Sandy Pace. He helped us with the blogs and stuff on LinkedIn, and
Oh,
I'm very
good. Yeah.
grateful for his help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
No, that's
cool.
good. It's a lot, you know, when
Mm-hmm.
you're the executive director and the marketer and the fund development. But I think that you'll, especially getting a space, you'll start to
Mm-hmm.
grow and, get people. And would you be open to with maybe certain, I don't know, maybe even with like hiring people with disabilities and all of that? Are you
Of
looking to
course.
be yeah,
Yeah.
inclusive
Yeah. So we
employer?
we are also inclusive employer certified through inclusive hiring hub training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are willing to hire individuals with development challenges or with general disabilities.
Yeah.
We also have the peer mentorship component. So our hope is once our participant graduate from our program, so they will be hired as a peer mentor to
Ah,
support other individuals.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
Cool.
great. And
Cool.
yeah,
that's
I
where able
wonder,
available will get in there and help.
yeah, totally. I wonder if there might be a partnership between different like recreation organizations that don't have the educational component that are doing like a good job. Like I'm
Mhm.
hmm,
thinking of Special Olympics. I coach Special Olympics here in Edmonton, and obviously there's Special Olympics in Calgary. So
yeah.
perhaps participants from those programs could use, because those are like evening programs, they could use a day program as well.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. So we are hoping, like I do connect every week with some organizations, but the barrier is I try to reach out to Sport Calgary as well, but they require us to be a nonprofit.
Mhm.
Right.
So those things that are a barrier. So we are more developing like a working relationship after
Mhm.
those like connections, making connections. Like we ask them, if you come across anyone who is good fit for a program, please refer to us. And if we found someone who is a good fit for your program, we will refer them as well. So I
Yeah,
also
great.
connected with the Gateway Association. Employment works through SNEEV. And our hope is our program, the due to like to maintain the effectiveness of the program, we are hoping to have a 1 year program. um, Even though it's individualized, as if I say 1 year, it doesn't mean that if they start on today and after 1 year they will be kicked out. That's not the purpose. Is It's just to increase the effectiveness of the program. So
Mhm.
even if, as long as their need is there and they're willing to learn the skills, they can stay up in the program for up to 3 to 4 years. But our program is like developing in a way to be more effective and like encouraging people to move on instead of like keeping them in the same cycle of doing same thing every day.
Mhm.
Because if the program is too long, we don't have a timeline.
Yeah.
People will like come for decades, but they won't like have because we don't do meet any goals if we don't have any deadlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Absolutely.
purpose behind it. So we say it's a 1 year life skills day program, but it's individualized, and as long as individual has the need, they can continue our program. And if they do
Cool.
graduate and they want to come back to access another services, they're
Mhm.
more than welcome to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge thing is
Yeah.
having that deadline. Like my daughter right now is studying for her learners and
Hmm.
she's not doing a great job. And then
Yeah.
her best friend got her learners. So she's all like, and I'm like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to book you your learners
Yeah.
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
otherwise this could go on for years.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
also
Book
do
it
that.
in.
I also do that. Like if I don't have a deadline, I will just keep
Absolutely.
procrastinating and delaying it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think we're all the same. I think
I
we're all
think
Yeah.
the
so.
same.
Yeah.
You know, I am really curious kind of about your why, like why this work, why this industry, why this goal, why this mission? Like what's kind of that driving force behind what you're doing, what you're doing?
The driving force is my personal experiences. So I grew up a family where I was not given enough choices, and my father passed away when I was in grade 10, so I had to face a lot of difficulties. And when I immigrated to Canada, I moved with um, a lot of debt. So financial freedom is one of them, and like I don't know if you guys heard about the word viscous resilience, like helping other people help me to deal with my own trauma, you can say,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and like give sense of belonging or purpose. I don't know how to
Purpose.
explain it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So you get when you help someone, because I also work with the Canadian Mental Health Association Calgary region as a team lead where we support individuals with severe and persistent mental health. And once they graduate or move out of our program and we help make the difference to community,
Mhm.
it's a group home setting. So my program is the most independent program that I oversee, and we move individuals to the community from our program. We also teach them life skills there. Um, so it's very rewarding. So I wanted to continue with that as well. Yeah.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
great.
no, that makes complete sense.
Hmm.
You know, like I'm very passionate too about what I do. And I mean, I guess it's from, meeting people,
Hmm.
but I don't have anybody in my family, with CP or another disability. It's just,
Hmm.
but it is, I feel so good about what I do and
Yeah.
the people I meet and the connections. And
Mhm.
I could never run the organization because we'd have no money because I would just be giving
Hmm.
it giving
Yeah.
it away and doing whatever. But no, I can totally understand that and how it would heal
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Helping others helps us, I think, in return.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so you work with mental health too. That's great. Yeah, because you said you did psychology
Hmm.
and your
Yeah.
background. So do you find that you put a lot of what you learned through that to use
Hmm.
with
Yeah.
Resilient Hearts and being with
Yeah.
your clients?
Yeah, I learned more through my experiences than education.
Mm-hmm.
So I also worked with women who were involved in sexual exploitation and human trafficking. So I worked
Mm-hmm.
with the Research Society of Calgary, where I worked as a case worker. So I did case management with those women and also facilitated the trauma informed classes. So it
Mm-hmm.
was really life changing and like very great experience to
Mhm.
part of that organization and learn about different perspectives. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great. Is that all on your website? People should know all of that about you.
Well, our website is I'm redesigning the website. So
Mm-hmm.
the website I have currently, it's only one page website, and we have very limited capacity to add things on it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on my LinkedIn
Good.
profile as well as it's on the new website that I'm designing
Oh,
currently.
Cool.
awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if people knew all that, it would
Hmm.
definitely make them feel like, oh,
Yeah.
like you've got experience and you're really doing it to help people, no
Hmm.
matter what they've gone through. And I think that makes people feel at ease too.
Yeah.
And that even having your own, like going through your own stuff. I mean, I've always said, like, when I was in the dating world, I never wanted to be with anybody who'd never had a broken heart or didn't
Hmm.
experience,
Yeah.
something, like people. And you're right, with education, I mean, we can learn a lot, but really it's experience that gives us,
Hmm.
you know,
Mhm.
a
Yeah.
lot of our education. Yeah.
Totally.
So what do you do for your own mental health then, other than working when you're, you know, helping everybody else all the time? Are there things that you do for yourself?
I do. I go for walks. I spend time with my family. So I have
Mhm.
my mom, and I have my sister and family. So I spend some time with my nephew and niece. So
That's the
that's
best.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the
Nice.
best. And you
That's
all
great.
came together when you immigrated over, or did you come first? And
So my sister came first, then I came, then my mom came. But
Oh,
now
nice.
we are all in Calgary, which
Nice.
is
That's
great.
great. That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's great. So what are some goals that you have for the next, 5 years, next 10 years? And, how can other people and organizations help you get the word out there?
Um, Collaborate with us, and
Mhm.
we are willing to promote each other. And for goal, my goal is to have a facility that has like equipped with everything, a gym,
Mhm.
sensory room, music room, um, and something, art and craft space where individuals feel welcomed and um, do whatever they want to do, and explore their interest. We are exploring some partnership with sports organizations because sports is something that help individuals to get the energy out
Yeah.
and like do a lot of things,
Yeah.
and work on their well-being,
Yeah.
especially physical and mental wellness. So yeah, so goal would be to move to a space, continue to grow, have a diverse team of specialists like
Mhm.
psychologists, occupational therapist, behavior therapist, physiotherapist, and a team of four support workers and a coordinator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I
Cool.
think that's great. And that's something that we need. I know we've always talked about how we wished we had a pool
Mm-hmm.
in our Calgary office because,
Yeah.
our aqua therapy programs are popular, but it's so hard to come across a nice warm pool because we find sometimes you get in there and then they want to do their own programs
Mm-hmm.
or just there's not enough room or we don't have
Yeah.
someone to facilitate. So yeah, we've always dreamed about having a pool in that warehouse or
Mm-hmm.
day program and all that. But yeah, it does. It takes time to build,
Does, yeah.
that together, get all the funding and everything. But a social enterprise is,
Yeah. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many opportunities. There's
yeah,
so many opportunities.
yeah, and lots of opportunities for funding that way and
Yeah.
getting awards and just getting recognized that way. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll definitely help get the word out.
Thank you.
Hopefully the podcast will help. I can always hope
Yeah.
that will help. Is there anything else that you would like to tell us about Resilient Hearts?
Yeah, I can share the values behind Resilient Hearts.
Yeah.
So these are the values that I really value a lot. So it stands for hearts. Our values are hearts, which stand for honesty,
Mhm.
empathy, um, adaptability, respect, trauma-informed, skill, and strength-based. So we are honest with our interactions with our customers, participants, and stakeholders.
Mhm.
Empathy, we see individuals through their eyes. Adaptability, we adapt and change our program based on individual needs.
Mhm.
Respect, we believe that everyone deserves the same respect and dignity, regardless of their sexuality, gender, disability, or any other factor. Trauma
Mhm.
informed, we take their past experiences into consideration. The last one, but not the least, skill and strength based. We focus on their building their skills to make them independent and strength based. So we utilize their current strengths or abilities to leverage and build their new skills.
That's beautiful.
It is
I
Thank you.
also
beautiful.
like I like the acronym as part of the name
Yeah.
of the organization.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
I think
you.
those are all very important things, especially because it makes you a safe space for,
Mm-hmm.
everybody. And with disability being that big community full of all the other communities all put together, it's so important to let people know that you're a safe space
Yeah,
for everybody. Yeah.
Totally.
No, I love
thank
that. Good
you.
for you. I think it'll be a success and
Thank you.
hopefully we can help make it a success. So life without limits is kind of what we're all about because Cerebral Palsy Alberta, that's our tagline. So we like to kind of, base this podcast on that. And we've been learning a lot about what life without limits means. And I mean, my view has completely changed over the years of what it is. So for you, what does life without limits mean to you? And do you feel that you're living a life without limits?
Okay. So my belief is that you are the only person who is limiting you to live your best life. If you're knowing that you have choice to make to how you want to live your life, instead of focusing on limitation, we should focusing on our abilities and what we are good at. Oftentimes we see what we don't have, and we don't recognize all the things or the gifts we have. So we have to be grateful for the things or the family or the things we already have in life, instead of focusing on things that we don't have, because those things will only bring sadness and emptiness to your life instead of inspiring you and making you happy. So happiness is not something that comes outside, it comes from inside, from you. For myself, how I'm living life my life without limits, through Resilient Hearts. So I accept, personally, I do accept things that I cannot change, and I continue to move forward regardless of challenges. And my thinking is, if I cannot help myself, nobody's going to help myself. So I have to continue to get up, and that's why we named the organization Resilient Hearts, because of the resilience. I fall in love with that word when I was working as a team lead with the detox, and I heard from one of my coworker, and I fall in love with that word. That's why we named the organization Resilient Hearts.
I like that.
Cool.
It's true. It
Yeah.
is a very strong word, you know,
Yeah.
talk about resiliency and all of that. We're hearing a lot about that with the Olympics happening, about being resilient and, you know, going through mental illness and mental health challenges, but being resilient and, you know, keeping through. So that's,
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any other things you want to say?
sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Let's get it all out.
Another thing too, for our tagline, when I like started having this business in my mind, or this venture, I had a tagline. I still have that tagline: fostering resilience in people's lives, because we don't want to put label on individuals with disabilities. So we wanted to be inclusive. And our hope is to support caregivers as well as we continue to grow and expand. That's why we have a tagline: fostering resilience in people's lives.
Right. So then
Very
it
cool.
makes it more, inclusive and all
Mhm.
of that. No, that's actually really important. And that's good, because caregivers, I mean, they need the help out there and the resources and just the reassurance and everything. So that's that's very important.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions at all, Emily, at all? Or
No, that's it. Like, I feel like you gave us a really good picture of the organization and kind of your journey. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Thank you.
No. Thank you for being here. I'm glad that you reached out, and you know, we've been able to connect, and we can form a partnership, and you know, Cerebral Palsy Alberta will definitely help get the word out. We don't shy away from supporting and boasting about other organizations on social media. That's what we
Thank you so
do.
much for having me and giving this opportunity. I'm really grateful for this time and having you here.
No, thank you. We'll have to reconnect, maybe do another episode in a year's time or something to see where you're at.
For
And
sure.
hear about, you know, maybe you'll, who knows where you'll be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be great to get some updates. Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. And thanks again for being here, Emily.
Yeah, of course.
We do look back. I mean, I don't know, Carlos will be back, but it's just working his way in to getting reacquainted with his job and everything. But we're really looking forward to having him back too. And yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I hope everybody in Calgary recovers from that hailstorm. And, you know, Alberta's been going through it the last little bit. So we're sending our thoughts out to everybody and all of that. And
Yeah.
thanks for listening, and remember to live your life without limits. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.